Begin all things by first using the all. My name is Lahudi Shakur Gathar. My debtor's name is Marlo Pringle. This is my statutory declaration for public notice. I, Marlo Pringle, now known as Lahudi Shakur Gathar, do solemnly declare in accord with the 1931 Statute of Westminster, 1778 Articles of Confederation and Perpetual Union, Art 11, 1812 Treaty of Ghent, 1794 J Treaty, 1836 Treaty of Marrakech, Morocco, all recognized and valid treaties. Constitution for the United States of America, the 1948 Charter of the United Nations, Pope's Apology to Indigenous People, the United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous People, the American Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous People, and the UN International Decade for People of African Descent. That upon discovering that the registration of live birth of September 16, 1981 in the state of South Carolina Republic was a contract between my mother and the state of South Carolina, who did not tell her she was selling me a flesh and blood child to the state of South Carolina as their chattel property, slave, which is a violation of human rights. I hereby void the contract ab initio for fraud. I am an autochthonic flesh and blood male of Santee and Crusoe Netchaz descent in accordance with the United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples and HJR 194. United States Senate apology to African Americans for slavery. U.S. apology to the Native Americans. H.R. 3326 Department of Defense Appropriations Act and Regina versus John. On May 14, 2011 at Southwark Crown Court, defendant John Anthony Hall in the United Kingdom proved before an English jury that Elizabeth Alexander Mary Windsor Saxe-Coburg was not the rightful monarch and never was. Queen Elizabeth is not the rightful monarch and never was. This was a two-part argument. First, that Elizabeth knew both then and now that she was crowned on a fake coronation stone instead of the real stone of destiny, coronation stone, which meant not only was she never properly crowned, but secondly, she was also knowingly and fraudulently conning the public, and that is why she didn't want her coronation televised. I declare that the name Marlo L. Pringle on the registration of live birth is a corporation, and Marlo L. Pringle is an autochthonic flesh and blood male of Santee and Crusoe Netchaz descent. I am not a corporation, artificial person, natural person, fictitious entity, or vessel of the United States defined under Titles 18 U.S.C. 9, and I give notice internationally, domestically, universally, via this declaration that I deny corporate existence. Under reservation of all my rights, unalienable and otherwise, I am the autochthonic indigenous of this planet, and I make this solemn declaration consciously believing it to be true, and that it is the same force and effect as if made under oath. Now, sent a copy to the Honorable Henry McMaster, which is the governor of South Carolina. Statutory Declaration. And notarized, signed, sealed. That's your attachment. attachments. And when I post this, I'm going to put it on my Facebook page. I'm going to put it on my YouTube page. And I'm also put the email to the webinar. So you can, if you want to do this the right way, I'm also putting it on my Calamio page too. But if you want to do this the right way, I'm going to post the webinar email up on there. And that way, you can attend the webinars on Mondays. And you can get up with Chief Nanya Shabuel and his wife Saw. I am white. And when I say I am white, or I say white power, or however I do it, I don't want to offend nobody. But when we do that, it's like we're using the IPEDs, which is the Integrated Post-Secondary Education Data System. I say it again, the IPEDs, which is the Integrated Post-Secondary Education Data System, which is, NCES, National Center for Education Statistics. And that's the race and the ethnicity categories. So that's where we get it from. And the definition of white is a person having origins in any of the original peoples of Europe, Middle East, or North Africa. So we put the definition with what we really are. And we are white. I repeat that definition again. A person having origins in any of the original peoples of Europe, the Middle East, or North Africa. Now, if you know that Europe was named after an Ethiopian princess named Europa, and then they just did find the Cheddar Man body, and when they did the DNA on him and reconstructed his body, he came out carbonated, So, like I say, I am white, and we're using the definitions. So, from the IPED, so we're not just saying that we're white. So again, I put the email on the YouTube and the Facebook if you want to do this the right way. White power. I am white.